Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Lunch Hour. Good afternoon, everyone. As we commence the meeting. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Lunch Hour Prayers. We commence the meeting. Let us just begin to speak in our heavenly language and build ourselves up.
Skendedeke,
Rimando
skendedebe robobo, shuku keke, skendedeke, skandiadaba, rebebe rupupu, rebebe rupupu, shurupupu
Jesus' name.
keke. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Father, Lord, we thank you. Lord, we bless you. Lord, we glorify your holy name. Father, Lord, we thank you for making it possible for us to witness this month, to experience this month of our inheritance. And Lord, even as we go into the conversation, Lord, we ask that you open up our hearts to learn from you and get revelation from you. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Amen. Good afternoon, everybody. I told you it's going to be a different conversation today, a different experience. And so you're welcome to our first edition of Witness Conversations. And you had picked it in the spirit last week when we talked about this. And our guest today is one of our own, Sister Bukola Adubi. And before I invite her to join us, I'm going to give a brief introduction of Sister Buki, because you all know her as Sister Buki. Some of the students know her as Sister Buki of the headmistress and, wielding the cane, but there is a lot of sides to Sister Buki. And today we're going to be looking at her professional side, her business side. She's an astute businesswoman, I can tell you. And so this month, we've been talking about inheritance, and not simply what God has promised us, but how we grow in it and how we walk in it and how we steward it. So today, we are privileged to have Sister Buki Adubi because her professional journey mirrors many of these principles. So this conversation is just going to be like a fireside chat, no hard questions, because this is what she lives. And so she's an accomplished business leader and the chief operating officer of Micom Cable and Wires. You'd have heard FOL calling her wire seller. That is what she does, among a lot of things. And Micom is one of Nigeria's pioneering indigenous cable manufacturing companies. It was founded by her parents over 4 decades ago. And today, she and her brother continues to lead the business, carrying forward not just a family enterprise, but a legacy of excellence, innovation, and Nigerian manufacturing. Sister Buki's own journey is particularly fascinating. She trained as a pharmacist with postgraduate studies in pharmacy, and she eventually discovered her passion lay in business and organizational leadership. And over the years, she has become a respected voice in Nigeria's manufacturing sector, serving in leadership sections, leadership positions within the cable manufacturing industry and even oil and gas, and championing local manufacturing, engineering development, and the next generation of Nigerian talent. And one thing that particularly struck me in my interaction with her is her emphasis that success is built on humility, continuous learning, discipline, accountability, and adding value. And that is all. I know her through Cornerstone, and that is who I know her to be. So, Sister Buki, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today. We are delighted to have you.
Yay! I'm putting on my video, right?
Yes, please put on your video. Let's see your beautiful
You're
face.
asking again. Doctor, pastor, doctor.
FOL, continue to hyper. Continue to hyper.
Now,
Let
pastor,
my head
doctor,
swell. Let my
engineer,
head
Buki
swell.
Adubi. Don't worry, they will spotlight you now.
So, Sister Buki, you are very welcome. Well, this is a platform that you are very familiar with. So I would say welcome home. And the first thing I want to ask was, I remember the first time you mentioned that your first degree was in pharmacy. I was like, pharmacy to wire? How? So you trained as a pharmacist. So first of all, what drew you to pharmacy? And did you imagine when you were studying pharmacy? I think you went to Unifair, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
I
I
started
had.
off in
You see,
Ife.
I've done my homework, you know.
I can
So,
see that.
so when you were doing your pharmacy at University of Ife, did you
Mm.
ever think that this was the direction your career would take?
Absolutely not. First of all, thank you. I feel so honored. Thank you for having me. So I didn't just jump from pharmacy to cable though. There's other things in the middle, right? I have lived all sorts of life, honestly. I did pharmacy. I've been a consultant with Accenture.
Wow.
I've run I've been a hospitality executive, I would say. I ran a resort for about 10 years before I now moved to manufacturing. So I've had different hats over time. But honestly, growing up, I was always a science student. So I was always gravitated towards science. And I think I come from a family that my mom made the decision, you know, like we're going to have engineers, we're going to have a doctor, and then we're going to have a pharmacist. You know, I don't know how she came up with that. So I was the chosen pharmacist.
Oh, wow.
Because, you know, so she spoke it and made it happen. So manifestation, I guess. So I found my way into pharmacy. I think it was just more how to improve people's lives. It just seems like the perfect intersection, you know, between science and service. As I grew up, I got to really actually want to do pharmacy. I'd started in Ife, and about 3 years into it, all this ASU strike, there was decision that, let these people go and travel abroad. My parents were very against it. Like, no, only second degree. But those strikes were taking forever, so they agreed. And when we got to that school, they were saying that I had to do A-levels because in England, I'm sure people that school in England will know, medicine and pharmacy, you can only go through A-levels. So I had to do the A-levels. And it was like, after 3 years of uni, I'm like, no, this pharmacy, I must do it. I must do it. So, but ended up here. And I remember the principal of the A-level college was saying that I should do economics as one of the subjects. And I was like, economics as how? I've always been a science student. So, no, give me my physics, biology, math, all of that. I was like, no, you look like somebody that would. I started economics. What is economics in October? By December, it was me and the teacher teaching the class.
Wow.
So I guess I should have known that maybe God is redirecting me to business. But I was like, no, I must do my pharmacy. I have a master's in pharmacy. So if somebody told me that one day I would be leading a cable manufacturing company, I would just laugh. I would just dismiss it and laugh. But I would say pharmacy taught me precision, consulting taught me strategy, hospitality taught me people, manufacturing is teaching me resilience, right? So it's like, and resilience,
Oh, wow.
And so it's like every chapter of my life is preparing me for the next. So looking back, God is simply just preparing me for where I am.
So as they say in business, all the dots are connecting.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so did you ever work as a pharmacist? Did you ever work in the... Wow.
I have, I'm registered with the Royal Pharmaceutical Society of Great Britain. Can you believe that? I'm also
Interesting.
I'm also registered with the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. So I did work as a community pharmacist in Manchester. And then I worked in Nigeria as well, in a hospital. But I just gravitated towards where God was leading me. Yeah.
It's interesting how parents just direct your paths and everything just aligns, and it just shows the power of manifestation. You're living someone's dream. So now, when did you join the family business?
Okay, so
what precipitated that decision? Because obviously you didn't join family business because you didn't have work.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no.
Okay.
So I've always been a very decisive person. So when I started working in the UK, I realized for myself that, look, if you stay any other 1 or 2 years, you will find man, you will marry, you will be stuck in UK. And I did not want to live in the UK. I'd already started the cycle of the work. I didn't like it. It was too, is this what I'll be doing for the rest of my life? So I was like, I can't come and get married here because I will now be stuck here. So I came back to Nigeria. Everybody was shocked. So I came back into consulting, right? And then I worked in consulting, and then I had to go do a pharmacy conversion course. I had to do my youth service. So at some point I fell in a limbo. And at the time, my parents, they just always like to innovate and stuff. They had built this 90-room hospitality golf resorts and now decided, who will run it? Do you understand? So I'm like, you know what? I'm hanging fallow right now. I'm not really doing much because I was on a break from my consulting to go and do my youth service. I had just finished the youth, so I was just kind of hanging sha. So I was like, what is the worst that can happen? Let me help you run it small. When my time is up to go back to Accenture, I will go back. And I just got sucked into it. This was a resort in the middle of nowhere in Osun State. It was dead. There was no communication. There was nothing. There was, so that was how I got sucked into doing that. And I just loved it. I just really loved it.
So did you ever go back to Accenture?
No, I had a leave of absence. They're still waiting for me. They're still waiting for me. So no, never did. Never did. In fact, the chairman of Accenture at the time, Dr. Sulaiman, ended up being one of our directors at some point. And every time he sees me, he's like, Buki, we're still waiting for you. That's your leave of absence. We're still waiting for you. I'm like, you'll be there with, I got sucked into it, loved it. It was very challenging at the time. And that got me into the family somehow.
Okay.
And then I did about 10 years. And then the cable company had some issues they needed. And I was like, okay, yet again, let me, pending when you get somebody. I'm always falling into the pending when we find a solution, and I just got sucked into that as well. And then I realized that all the knowledge I had accumulated over time was just perfect for the role. And then I got sucked into that as well. So I guess I was just following where God was leading me, to be honest.
Wow.
I just listened, and I have zero regrets. For every job I've done, I have, it's one of those, whatever your hand finds to do it well, and you will stand in front of kings and leaders, all of that. That hotel, you don't even know the kind of people that would come in there, it put me in the spotlight so much.
Wow.
And then this as well,
Wow. Interesting. So now what I want to ask is, you transited, or you transitioned from consultancy to being a GM of a hotel and a resort, and then now moved to a manufacturing, the manufacturing center. So when you moved from the hotel to I'm sure it was like, let me help you, and then you were still doing both together, and then over time,
at some point,
you now, at one point, it was now like, look, this thing needs my full attention. So how did you now settle the hotel, knowing that it was still a going concern?
The hotel was standing pretty well on its feet. So there were processes in place. So it was just to hire a good person to follow the system, right? I had grown it to a place where I felt comfortable that, it was, I call it my baby. So I'm like, I'm living my baby. But, it was something that needed to be done. And my spirit was very resolute that, you had to do this. So that's it. And one of you'd asked me earlier about that transition into family, how that went. I've come to that realization now that a lot of other things can be inherited, right? Ownership can be inherited, responsibility can be inherited, which I would say that those two fell into the inheritance that I had to take, right? But leadership, you have to earn it.
Hmm.
You have to earn it.
So what you're
And
saying is that you don't inherit leadership.
you don't inherit
Even though you are
leadership.
the boss's daughter, you are the
Even though
founder's
yeah,
daughter.
nobody cares
Hmm.
about whose daughter you were, nobody, I had to, and then I was this, I'm sure I'm a very chunklu, small something I do. In fact, now I'm telling everybody that I need white hair, I need plenty white hair, so that people even know that I'm old, small, because, I'm speaking to somebody on the phone and then they see me and then they're like, is this the person I've been talking to, my face just
This small rats.
my face just like, really?
Oh, wow.
So I have that, for the most part, I thought it was against me early days, that people thought this small girl, what does she know? Because it's your father's business, So I had to earn it. I had to prove that I could listen, I could learn, and I could lead, right? And then now I'm just as, if not more, of an engineer than anybody that cares to
Anything.
listen. Do you
You're wearing
understand?
you're wearing the big girl shoes and you're wearing them well.
Do you
I love that.
understand? So that I learned that you have to earn it. It's not handed to you on a platter. The responsibility could have been handed, I could have taken that over, but yeah.
Not the
leadership,
leader.
yeah.
So I want us to, you inherit assets. You have MICOM, you have but like you said, we inherit values, we inherit visions, we inherit responsibility. So looking back, what do you think has been the greatest legacy your parents passed on to you? Not as business owners, but as people, growing up with them, watching them build these businesses and running them.
So I would say several prongs, right? So I would say to anybody that cares to listen, they didn't just build a company. They built something more enduring. And because especially at the time when MICOM started, we were the only fully indigenous. So already they opened the door. So all the other Nigerian cable manufacturers you see today is a function of MICOM opening the door for them, right? So they built a belief, right, that Nigerians can do anything. We can manufacture just as good as the Oyimbos or the international collabos. Do you get what I mean? So that belief, I grew up knowing it, and that belief came with certain values, right? And those values, I think, are part of the things that stay with me till tomorrow. Integrity, accountability, key, humility, key. You would never, so that has grown me into who I am. And then I now see myself that I'm not necessarily just owning or inheriting MICOM. I am a custodian for that, so it changes my perspective about what decisions I make, what needs to be done, because it's been literally passed on to me. I've got to leave it better before I pass it on, right? So that, I would say, is probably one of the biggest things that they've handed over to me in my lifetime.
And how would you say thank you? I love what you said. They started a new path that had never been trodden before. So I'm sure you grew up with that resilience, that it can be done.
Yes.
That's what is in it. It can be done.
They consistently chose principle over profit. I've heard conversations growing up where my parents had to say that they were not going to do this because it just didn't sit well with them. And today, I have had to do, oh gosh, some people just don't get it, right? When you start cutting off.
You're a boss. I mean, your phone must be ringing.
So they just, and growing up, sometimes you don't understand why would this is, why would you do that? But no, even the little things in our home, because of course my name is Olubukola, so in the Yoruba sense, I came when money was already
brought
around.
wealth.
You understand? I added more. Do you understand? So there were certain things I expected that we should be able to do. Even though we had helps at home, there are certain things that you will still do. And it just always felt like, and then you have one cousin somewhere that they are putting their feet up and they're like, why can't we, or you go to schools, we went to public schools, my parents were like, all those private. So me going for first degree was a problem for my parents because they were like, no, you can't, you have to stay. So all of that, yeah.
Thank you. So now that your parents are no more, and you still have this work that you are doing that they started, how do you honor their values while also making decisions that move the company forward in a changing world?
So it's just honestly one of the things that they have instilled. Money comes and goes. Money is paper. Money is paper. Value remains, trust remains, value is always constant. So everything I do is protecting that principle, knowing that as long as I'm trusted, as long as I'm adding value, integrity, quality, excellence, service, these will never change. Even if the market changes, even if technology changes, even if customer expectation changes, these things will never change. That is what remains for me. That is the only thing. These leadership conditions for me will never change, and having the courage to stay, even in environments where it's telling you compromise, it's telling you, let's just circumvent like this.
It's all about the money. As long as the money comes in, it doesn't
I've walked
matter.
away. So for example, I say to my clients that our cable is the only cable product that you will not find in the open market. We are not in Alaba, we're not in any of the open market. They were like, you make money. No, how do you do your marketing? How do you do that? I'm like, I don't need Alaba to make money. I really don't. Alaba messes up my name because there will be fake of my cable.
There'll be exactly. There'll be three. There'll be Mecom original. Mecom original, Mecom 1 and Mecom 2.
They will look so real that, and so for me, I've had to take a decision to be like, you know what? It's about my integrity. It's about my brand equity. It's not about the money. But Sister Mimi, I have not struggled. I have not suffered. I have not, because I'm not in Alaba, because the Leticia don't really know me. Maybe I don't get it. Forget it. I am doing well. So
I love it.
What are we talking about? So I'm not abandoning their vision. I'm fulfilling it.
I love it. I love it. Now let's go to your working relationships. I know that you work with your brother, and sometimes businesses struggle when, even when husband and wife work together, sometimes there is a tussle, staff will want to play you against each other.
Against each other.
Now, it's you and your older brother, I presume I'm correct.
Yeah.
So how have you built a successful partnership?
So you see, the first thing that I've realized that people struggle with is separating personal and business. So a lot of the time you take it personal when you are working together and they are attacking the business decision you made. They're attacking you.
So you want to now,
you are
defend it, that
yourself,
ego.
Not your decision. So I've learned very quickly to be able to separate it. So on the one hand, you can fight me. We can have the worst of conversations and say me too, I will say my own. I am the CEO. This is what I think. No. This is, we have the next minute, I'm calling him. So what are we having for dinner? So where are we going to lunch?
So it's not, you've learned to separate. It's not personal. It's about what you believe is good for the business.
He says, you will justify it, make a case for it. What I say, I justify, make a case for it. We take a decision based on what is best for the business, right? So we've come to agree that the business exists as a purpose that is greater than either of us, right? It's not my personality, it's not his personality. And so it allows collaboration. We have very different personalities. Very different, but we respect each other's strengths. I know where his strength is. I respect it. I go to him for that. He knows where mine is. When we clash, we know that it's not a threat. Do you understand? So the fact that we have different opinions doesn't make either of us a threat to each other. Do you understand? So we've learned to respect each other's strengths. And I think that's the most important part. And again, we don't take it personal. So if I say something, it would be like, I'm like, go, how can you talk to me like that? No, it's about the business, right? So
I love that.
That helps. And if
Well,
only a lot of people understood that, honestly, there'll be less issue, less communication problem, less
I
issue.
agree with you. You leave your ego at the door and just face. And because also, can I just ask a question off the side? How many people do you employ?
We have just shy of 100.
Wow. So you're responsible for 100 families. So,
Pretty
I
much.
mean, you really have to leave your ego at the door.
And these are 100 families of older, younger, new generation, cutting across all the different generations. So you have to be able to deal with objectivity. This is the issue.
So let's get a bit personal now. What has been the most challenging leadership lesson you've had to learn?
Whew. Service.
Okay. Can you, you are now sounding like F-word when you just give one-line answers. When you say service,
What did FWL have to do in this matter now?
FWL has collected stray bullets.
Okay, Sister Mimi, keep it on.
So when I asked a question, I said, what's the most challenging business lesson you've had to learn? And she said, service. So I'm like, don't give me one-liners. Service.
So leadership is stewardship. So earlier in my career, I always believed that leaders needed to have all the answers. You needed to know everything. To be a leader, to be able to walk the path so that people will respect you, you needed to know all the answers. But what I've found out is what you need to have is humility to want to be able to learn. So leadership isn't about proving that you are the smartest person in the room. It's about helping everybody around you become better. So when I realized that, there was a shift in my approach, right? So it wasn't, I didn't need to know everything. I'm surrounded by, when I started in MyCom here, for example, I'm surrounded by over 100 years of experience across board, 150 years of experience. So yeah, we just come in and say, because I'm now your madam, I know more than all of you. Do you understand? It would be really stupid of me to do that, to think that. So there was a lot of collaboration. Now they know that before they come to me, they have solved the problem. Don't come to me to come and don't tell me issue. So you are telling me issue to come and do what now? How can you are the one? Think about the issue yourself. And just come and tell me that, ma, we had this issue, but we have thought about this. And you would not believe how it makes people feel. They're carried along, they're decision-making, they're happy. So in fact, they've solved the problem before I get involved, right? So that has been, that and the humility to be able to ask, even to customers, the transparency. A lot of people would like to hide. Sister Mimi, I'm sure you want to hide, you want to package yourself to customer like you know it all, no problem, nothing can happen. Esma, I don't know this thing, but help me. Do you understand? I do that. We produce something that it could be potentially delayed. Issues can happen down the road. I can mess up your timeline. I'm not going to try and lie to you. And then everything will fall apart and I look like the bad person. You that, sorry, this has happened. It's not my fault, but I'm doing, people love, they love it. Like, thank you for telling us we are just on site. Instead of me trying to package myself and,
and blame somebody else,
And blame somebody, at the end of the day, blame somebody else. And, so that's something, humility of it, coming down to say, I don't know, I need your help. It goes a long way.
I love the...
It doesn't make you look bad.
Exactly. No, I love the way you've talked about ownership and responsibility, even with your subordinates, because when you impose solutions, finding solutions on your subordinates, you find out that they now take ownership, they take responsibility for those solutions. So it's not just that you are telling them what to do. They are the ones telling you what they are going to do.
Yes, in fact,
You
they've
know,
done it. They don't
exactly.
even need to tell me they've done it. And they just come to me to say, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Or maybe there is something that is causing a delay, machine breakdown, madam, am I worry? Don't worry, we'll do it. If they have to sleep here, they have to do whatever, they will make sure that it happens. So that has shifted. So I'm not micromanaging anybody. I'm not, and they love it, so yeah.
Oh, I love that. And I wanted to ask, how has your faith influenced the way you make difficult business decisions?
Okay, so I'm sure everybody probably thought that I've had 40 years of experience in this whole faith journey.
No, 40 years? You just look like a 30-year-old. How could you have had 40 years?
Yeah.
It's not
Sister
possible.
Mimi, I don't have 10. Would you
What?
believe that? I do not have 10 years in this journey. It hasn't been 10 years that I became born again. And, so before 2017, I played by chance. I played by what will happen, because I was also very analytical in my mind. I was always very, make the decision, so hey, and I was always very, I was not risk averse. So I will take certain decisions and stand by it. And then because I stood by it and I was convicted by it, it will happen. Do you understand? So I lived like that. But after post 2017, I also found that my faith now starts to influence everything. Doesn't remove the difficult decisions, but it just gives peace inside that difficult position, right? It reminds me that it's not about financial performance. So it reduced from me a lot of pressure, pressure to perform, pressure to your bottom line, and Sister Mimi,
Meet the numbers.
that pressure reduced, but the numbers escalated.
Wow.
You get what I mean? The numbers jumped, right? So I can't even, so my faith is everything. Sometimes I tell people that the person that will tell me there's no God, I try go.
Wow.
Because I have come to realize that it's not the basbos, it's the just hand it over.
Resting in God.
Don't let it go. Let God deal. And that God dealing, it has freed people like, madam, how do you do it? You do this, you are traveling this, you don't even have high blood pressure. You don't even have anything. Money. Okay, so high blood pressure, now I have it. Is that making me a serious person? So I'm at peace. I'm at peace.
Oh,
The
I
wisdom
love
comes through
that.
the way I approach decisions, the way I approach problems, it comes through, and I just follow. I
love
follow.
that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a quick break and I'm going to ask participants to ask questions because we still have some time, but I don't want to now rush questions at the end. So if you have any questions, you could put it in the Q&A. You can raise your hand. So you're just going to have like a 5-10 minutes break for you to ask questions. But meanwhile, let me just read some comments in the in the section in the chat section. It says, I love this, well done. And then somebody says, from what you said about not being in Alaba, says you don't have to be everywhere. Clock it. I love that.
Yes.
So I said to somebody, I said, clock it this afternoon. He said, are you now a Gen Z? I said, I'm a Gen. I said, I'm a Gen everything. I'm a Gen God.
Gen every
So I can use
alphabet.
any terminology.
Sometimes when I tell my kids something, they're like, Mommy, please don't say that. Please don't say that. I'm like, is that not how you people say it to me? Or what?
So, Sister Elizabeth, I saw your hand up. Do you want to ask a question?
Yes,
I'm
good
coming to
afternoon,
you.
everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Good
afternoon.
afternoon, Sister Bouquet. Thank you. I just wanted to ask, so your story is very interesting. I see that you've worn many, many hats and you've had quite a number of different careers. So my question to you is, how have you managed to develop the capacity to be who you need to be for each different role that you've carried or responsibility that you've held?
Okay, so I would say I just kind of went with it. I came in knowing that I didn't know, because all these places, apart from pharmacy that I went to school to learn, everything else, I had zero clue entering inside that industry. So I came into that industry knowing that I don't know anything and I don't presume to know everything. So I want to learn. So I was like a sponge. I was just soaking up information, sit in meetings, listen more, talk less, that kind of thing. Just soak up as much information as possible and then start to ask questions around it. At some point, I actually also have a diploma in hospitality management, because at some point I thought, okay, now I think I have enough to want to actually learn more. Right. So yeah, so you just build up, you just want to learn, just be a sponge. Just be a sponge and ask questions. I have never been shy about the questions that I ask. There's no question that is stupid. I ask even the staff people, wait, how do you guys do this? And then try to understand, just be a sponge and just be diligent, So that statement of just be diligent, your diligence will shine through. And that's what I believe I did in every industry that I've worked.
And I love the way you say you're just a sponge, because I'm sure some of the people you are approaching for explanation or how you do this, some of them were not as educated as you, I'm sure, but they had been on the job.
Yes.
So you were able to, not look at them in the light of,
look beneath them, like
their qualifications.
How can this one help me? How can this one help me? They can't say anything that will add value to my life, those kind of things. And you'll be shocked to the kind of feedback you then get, because what I find is at the top, you can very well get misled about what actually happens at the bottom.
Exactly.
Because they feel they need to tell you what you want to hear. So by the time you are the one asking and they can see through bullshit. So let's not even kid about that. If you're trying to be you want to be...
I'm better. I want to use it to show you up. Yeah. They're not going to cooperate.
They will know, and they will just be yimoing for you at the side. Do you understand?
And they'll be telling you what you want to hear.
Yes, and then they will laugh at behind you, so they see through that. So when they see that, madam is really asking for, they are the ones that will tell you, yes, ma'am, let us tell you, there's one thing in that corner there. We have said it to the last person, they didn't hear also. So you start to hear things. My door is constantly open. Everybody knows it's a rule. Once my door is open, you can walk in. But one thing I will ask you is, if you come and complain, I will ask you, have you told your direct report? But they are free to come escalate matters to me. Their guys know. But I will ask first. You are not jumping authority. Have you told your guy? I've told him. Okay, no problem. Oh yeah, tell me what has happened. And you are not going to be sanctioned or implicated for you came to report me to madam. That. So everybody knows. So once my door is open, free to anybody, from cleaner to driver to anybody can enter. Once it's closed, so like now it's closed, they know that I'm in a private meeting. So anybody that wants to talk to me is either texting me. If it's an emergency, I'll respond. If it's, but they know not to bother madam once my door is closed. So they know that there is nothing we can hide with madam. Do you understand? So that helps.
I love that. Sister Bamidele, your hand is up.
Yes, ma. Good afternoon, ma. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes. So, Auntie Buke, I know you said you now understand why God took you through all the stages. They all prepared you for where you are now.
Yeah.
So my question is, in all of this, four different stages, different job, phase, pharmacy, hospitality, consulting,
Now manufacturing, yes.
Yes, ma'am, and now cable. Okay, so my question is, in all these stages, is any of this stage feel like this is not where I should be? Did you feel unfulfilled at any job? And because now it seems you now know that, okay, you feel fulfilled more now at this point. But at any of those stages, did you feel like, okay, no, there's more. I am not happy here. I have to be, there's something missing. Did you feel that at any point?
Maybe the only one that I felt like I shouldn't be here. Like I said earlier, is the pharmacy. And that was only because I did not want to live my life in the UK. Because I saw how the life in the UK was just you're literally working for a paycheck. And I felt to myself, no, I don't want to leave this. I want to be able to do more. I felt like I was going to be restrained. And maybe that's the only one I felt, let me come to Nigeria and just, I will find my level, right? But from there on, everywhere I got pushed into, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would have thought that was my best life. So for example, when I was doing the hotel, that was nobody could, when I had to get married, they literally had to come and pull me from my table because I was still working. They had to come and pull me from my table in the Ada to say, you have engagements tomorrow, because my engagement was in Ada, right? And I was still working the hotel there, so it's like, no, Buki, oh yeah, let's go. Stand up, I live, sleep, breathed. It was my life and I enjoyed it. I loved it. I had my first baby after the compulsory 40 days. I told everybody, Ewo, I'm going to work. They're like, hello day. What is it now? I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm going to work. What about your baby? You're going to be carrying baby on the express. I'm like, hey, where? Baby does not need milk. Baby needs my breast milk. So I will give you as much breast milk as you want. I will pump, I will label 2 hours. You can feed baby breast milk. But me, I was that loving my job. They had to Google on that baby for me because nobody would tell me to do my baby, So I loved it so much. Cable too now, I sleep and breathe and, I'm working at crazy hours. I am speaking to somebody in Malaysia, 8 hours, I'm having to wake up, so it's not worrying me at all. It's not a problem. So I just always felt that I'm always where I'm supposed to be. And I enjoyed it. So I never felt anyhow about it. I'm sure if I move on to something else again, I'm going to be just as loving it. So, yeah.
Thank you. Which goes to the next question in the Q&A. And somebody says, how have you balanced your responsibilities as a leader with your responsibilities at home and your responsibilities as a spiritual leader and teacher?
I was expecting somebody to ask that. So, the one at home, so okay, maybe to also give context, I've been married now, 22 years. Married 22 years. I have 2 kids, 20 and 16. And growing up was in the thick of all of this, trying to obviously manage. I told you they had to come and drag me from on the day of my engagements and stuff like that. So I think maybe to my husband, I'm already like this, like Buki, better let her do her work. You can't do anything, so that was there. And then there was, I always say communication, communication from the get-go. This is who I am. This is what I want to do. You are in, Abby. Let's understand that one. And once he says he's in, I am running with that. You can't come back and say you're not in again. We had this conversation, you said you are in, so there is that. And then there was also me on the flip side, ensuring that I did not leave any stone unturned in terms of my home. So as much as I was always all over the place for work, when I am home, I am home. And God has also helped me to be, I'm not a social butterfly. I don't do party, I don't do wampe, I don't do, so my weekends, my evenings, I am home. So my kids, as much as I don't do school runs, they don't even know me in their school as the mother, because I really don't. But I will show up the day that they are doing drama, the day they are doing award, the day they are doing this, so I show up for them. Lesson, I'm on top of their works. There are times that I have had to do to Abuja and they have exams. I would have done copies of all the pages of every subject at night. I will now sit down. Oh yeah, asking questions, so, and my husband will see that. Till tomorrow, I still cook for my husband and I still bring his food when I'm home. Because I have girls and I know that, don't come, I didn't kill my mother, don't come and kill me. Very early, I taught them how to cook, how to present, how to do. So when I'm not home, they are home. Feed my husband. Make sure my husband does not starve. make sure your daddy eats, and they sort that out. So he doesn't feel like she's abandoned the home. She's all about work. And this one that they're all going empty nester. I hate it by me that anything.
For those that don't speak Yoruba, she says that now she has time to do everything she wants to do as she's getting into the empty nesting years.
I tell my husband that you can't even report me to anybody because somebody will hear you. Nobody, what do you want to say I did? Your children are doing very well in school. You're collecting award every day. You are eating. You eat. People will say,
you're well fed.
You're well fed. You are, I don't disrespect you. I bring food. There's nobody you can even go and it's you that they will blame. That what did you do? So I've made it so much that my home isn't suffering. Right. But what I also had around me was a good support network. So it was good that my husband was on board. But for those times that I had to travel when I was younger, I always had somebody responsible in the home waiting on the kids, and I'm always there, I'm a speed dial away, that kind of thing. So that didn't fail. And then, of course, when I was head on in ministry now, that one too took me a while to come to do, because I'm either all in or not in at all kind of person. So when the work for ministry, do work, I do this, I struggled with that for a while, that how will I do it? With everything I have going on, I want to add this, and if I don't want anything to fail. And I just went back to God with it. And God, don't worry, just let me be. And I was like, you know what? Okay, God, it's on you. So what I find now is if there's a clash that is about to affect any one or the other, I will tell God, I want to do you. So usually a meeting gets postponed, meeting gets canceled, something gets, I'm able to do God. So I haven't suffered. If I have a day in a week that I've told my office, they know I don't come to work. That day is for God, is for Cornerstone, is for whatever. So if there's any issue, there's a window, I have a break, maybe between 12 and 2. If you want to call me during that break. Anything else, even if the house is falling, don't call me. Don't bother me. Everybody knows. It was a struggle for my board people to agree. How can you not? I'm like, are you not seeing results? My presence in the office, this is my face you want to be looking. If you are seeing results and money is entering the system and we are working, which one is your? Over time, everybody agree. Thursday, okay, you're not around, Abby. Okay. Maybe we do it on Friday. Maybe so. Everybody is now accommodating around my requirement, and it's working for everybody. It's working for everybody. And at the end of the day, allow God to deal. It never fails. I've never had to struggle with any decision around something failing or something falling apart,
So you call an all-rounder, an all-rounder. I love that. Yeah. And I love what you said, that it's by the grace of God. Yeah. Because like you said, you when you struggled, you had your work down pat, you had home down pat, the ministry entered, and you had to make time for ministry. And I love that you took it back to God, that, how do we make this work? And obviously, he's making it work with you. I have another question for you. This is a technical question. It says, how do you balance quality above quantity amidst the inflation and rising costs in cable industry in Nigeria? Things in Nigeria are known for increased price and reduced quality. Like the sausage inside gala now has reduced.
It's like a teeny weeny bit. So one of the things that I said that we have always done is that quality never compromised. I've had to increase prices. There are times that we've increased our prices 3 times in 3 months or 4 months, but it is what it is. And when people come to me and say, hey, we got it cheaper, and I'm like, it's okay. You can get it cheaper. It's fine. I know what I'm giving you. I can't speak to somebody else's product. So if you say you can get it cheaper, you're a business person, go for it. I will speak for myself. I don't want anybody come and wake me up in the middle of the night that, Bookie, that cable, that something. So if you can't do, it's okay. Usually, the fact that I'm able to walk away brings them back.
Which leads me to my next question. How do you do your quality control? So you find that you ran a whole line of cables and it didn't meet the control, it didn't pass quality control.
We don't even find that out at the end, because there's process after process after process from the raw material. So first of all, raw material has entered, it has passed. Okay, if it enters and there's a problem, I'm not receiving it. I'm not paying for it. I'm not collecting it. So it has entered. So process to process to process, there's at least standard cable production of like Amod cable, big cable, maybe 6 processes. Each process, before it moves to the next, has to be signed off. It will not go to the next stage unless it's signed off. So if it's signed off, it goes. If it signs off, it goes. So by the time you get to the end, you know that there's nothing. And even at that, I'm putting, so I'll give an example. A low voltage cable in Nigeria's voltage rating is 220, 240 volts, right? So at the end of a production, I am putting 3,500 volts into that cable.
So you're stress testing
over 5 minutes, yes. If it stands that volts, let's go and put it anywhere. No short circuit can affect that cable. Do you understand? And it would only do that if there's no hole in the middle, there's no water ingress in the middle, because if there's anything inside, it will make noise and it will tell you where the noise is coming from. This part here has a problem, and then that cable is not going anywhere. But hardly never, because you've been doing it at every stage. So what will not happen that at the final stage, you now have a problem. So we are very intentional. Everything is documented. Every batch of material used is documented. Everybody signs off. So if there is a problem, I can trace it. So if it goes to sites and somebody calls me, and that cable that was supplied, no problem, it's okay. We will carry ourselves. My engineers will go there. And another thing we do, we number the cables, we put our names on the cables, and we seal the tapes on the end. So if you say it's
you know who worked to that batch. Oh, interesting.
So if you say my cable failed, my people know what to look for. First of all, check if it's my name on it. Check that the 2 ends, there is a tape that is self-destructible, so you can't remove it completely. It's not like sellotape. So
I love that.
Bits of it will still be there at the edge. So find one edge, see that it's my own. Find out a lot of the time it's installation issue. A lot of the time they overbent it, the bending radius or something.
They abused it. They didn't use it the way it was supposed to be used. So it was abused.
We'll tell them it's okay. We'll tell you what to do, advise you a little bit more.
Thank you. So I don't have any questions for now, but I want to ask, can you share a time when there was no obvious solution? You know, because you've talked about being solution driven, your people come with solutions, but have you ever had a time, can you remember a time where there was no obvious solution? Your people didn't even have the solutions, as good as they are, and you just had to trust God?
Plenty. I'm going through one now. It's plenty. I'm going through one now, but God has been faithful. So the solution in our own minds doesn't even look viable. But somehow God will direct you to call somebody, and that person will say, maybe we don't even need it again, or maybe, something, or, okay, so I'll give you like what I say I'm going through now. I'm sure we've said it so many times already. We're going through a major upgrade at the moment in the factory. We started this upgrade last November officially, and the plan is that by April, May, we should have finished installation. We should be test running, commissioning, starting production. We are entering August. Civil works has not even finished.
You're still on civil works.
So
meanwhile, the factory is not working, but they are making money. So Stabuki, over to you.
I haven't sacked anybody. I'm still paying everybody's salary. They're still coming to work. They're still doing what they need to do. Sister Mimi, we are paying bills. So
you're paying for diesel, I'm sure. You're paying
We are paying
Very
bills.
cool.
We are paying everything. Not that I'm having extra. I have money in my system. And you're wondering how. Everybody, after like months, like, hey, madam, my shishe, we're not working. What are we doing these people? Hey, calm down. Calm down. And I'm like, God, I can't fail you. You're the one that said we should do this thing. So if you like, let them embarrass me. It's you that we embarrass.
That is
Not
apart from
people.
the capital expenditure that you have gone through on all these major
The
refurbishments.
shipments. The day I will come and talk this thing, I will talk it on a different level. The shipment of 52 containers has been stuck at the port since December arrival.
Wow.
Sister Mimi, I have solution. Oh. It's not going to cost me a dime.
Wow.
How do you explain that? I'm running a business. I'm not producing, but I'm getting paid for providing consulting service, not small money, dollars money. So they understand that, okay, the factory is off, but we need your advice. We need how to do this. I woof money. I didn't touch any machine. I didn't touch any cable. I have issues. I am not having to lament over the BC. If I calculate the demurrage, don't even want to know.
52 containers.
Solution
Wow.
has come. Solution that is not affecting my life has come. How do you explain that? So right now, people want to fight. My board wants to fight, but they also can't fight because it's not a problem. Do you understand? So now they're just like, we've just been too much in the system. It's been too long. People might forget. I'm like, forget that one. Don't worry. That one is not going to be, so it's just, again, resting in God.
Wow. Wow. I love what you shared. It's you and God all the way.
It's me and God. And
All
when it's looking like this, I'll just go and tell him that, you want them to embarrass you. They will now just say, this Sister Buki that is carrying God on her head. It's you, it's not me. So,
wow. I love that. So people, any questions before I go into the last few questions I have? Okay, I have another one in the Q&A. Okay, I love this. How are you preparing the next generation of leadership or succession plan for your company?
Yeah. So I had said earlier that leadership is more of stewardship, right? And knowing that ownership is only temporary, right? So, and it cuts across company, relationships, opportunities, everything that you have has literally been entrusted to you. So in this case, to me, right? So what I got, how do I live it for the next person? So this is what drives me. So I am constantly on the lookout for the right person, the right situation, how to build the next generation of leader, how to look at what I need to do what I, essentially, I want to be seen as a faithful steward. So that guides me into everything I do, that positions me. I'm also heading the Cable Manufacturing Association in Nigeria as well. So when I do my decisions, it's not just for MyCom, it's for the industry. Do you understand? So it's a huge responsibility in my head. So it is to position myself, the company, Nigeria, in a place where they can stand confidently on a stage, on a global stage, and every decision I make follows through that. So
thank you for that.
Looking to see, to guide. Yeah.
So you're investing in people.
I have to.
You are spotting talents.
Yes, I
You're
have
investing in people.
Yeah.
I love that.
And people, sometimes people come to me and say, oh, you're training this person too much. What if they go and work for somebody else? You can't be doing that. I'm like, okay, so if I don't train them, they'll come and spoil machine for me. I don't understand. It's not slave trade. If they feel they can get a better deal elsewhere, oh, well and good, but at least my conscience would be fantastically clear and happy knowing that the training I've given them, they are using it to go and add value elsewhere. The circle, it will come around to me. So I'm not bothered about training them. They're going to go. They're going
Exactly.
to
You're
they're going
investing.
to-
You're building. You're
investing
building
in
up.
the industry. And really, it's not as if they teach cable manufacturing in university. All the people there are having to learn from people like us. So if I don't do my part, what's the point? What side gist are you having there, Sister Mimi? So yeah.
Okay, Sister Olutobi has a question for you.
Okay.
Thank you, Sister Buki, for sharing your story. It is very, very inspiring. So my question to you is, how do you carry your faith in your leadership positions? How do you boldly, confidently talk about your faith every day at work with your employees?
Yes.
Do you compartmentalize? How does that work?
I'm not shy about it. If I go to events and first thing I say is, people, sorry, I'm unapologetically Christian. So whatever I say, I can put in one scripture here, one scripture here, so there is no doubt about that. I'm not shy about it. I carry it on my head. Right. And people know me. You don't even have to speak to me for 2 seconds. I would have said something that, so yeah, I'm not, and people appreciate that, so I get called to speak at events and stuff. And after all the English language, your faith matters. I put it in, and everybody appreciates that, because really people tend to think, especially in this workplace, it always has to be about the work and the discipline and the this and the that and the principle and da 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 da. Hey, if you don't have your faith carrying you on, everything else is just nonsense and it's fall on your face, so not shy about that.
Okay, thank you. Brother Olua, your hand is up. You have a question.
Good afternoon, Sister Mimi. Good afternoon, our first guest that we have to see in the spirit. Can you hear me?
Yes, now, what do you say, sir?
All right, so I said good afternoon, Sister Mimi, and everybody else. Let me say a big thank you to Cornerstone for this laudable program. It's very insightful. It's been on for a minute. And our first guest that we have to seek out from the spirit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, fantastic business idea and growth. But I think what I see from what you have said to us and your bit of your story, apart from God being the guide and everything, is that your ability to delegate tasks, which is very key in any business. You can do it all. And it's part of mentorship and training. So all you need to do is just a bit of supervision. You train them and delegate tasks to them. So you are not, it's not, Samuki, you want to buy cable, you want to buy, you have your task, and which actually is part of what they call performance management and appraisal at the end of the day. Yeah, and it's very key to human development. So that's human resource development. Then your tenacity, that's your zeal that don't even know who you have. Let this face deceive you. You will see what I will do to you. Yeah. And you actually prove to us our normal adage that says it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
In the dog.
So
Quite
yes,
literally.
I like to.
Yeah.
Yes, yours is meant to be invite. It's good. And you've always been doing it. God will continue to.
So, Brother Olua, what's the question? Do you have a question for Stabuki?
I don't have a question. Commending her. She's worthy to be commended, madam.
Thank you.
So I can give a commendation too. So please continue to do that. We're learning.
Thank you.
But
thank you.
We are still monitoring your taxes too. So the higher you go, the more taxes you pay to us.
Go see you. Go see you.
Don't let me start calling you Matthew.
I'll be now.
If you know, you know. Okay, Sister Bamidele, your hand is still up. Is it a fresh one or is it from before?
A fresh one, ma.
Okay, Sister Bamidele.
Yes, ma. Okay, ma. I just wanted to know, Mycom has always been successful, even before you became like the CEO, before you took over from your parents. And you also only, I mean, you've always known God, but you became really serious only few years ago. So my question is, can you tell us what the obvious difference between when you were not really serious with God and from when you came into ministry? What are the clear obvious difference in the business? If I don't know if I'm wording it right, if that makes
No, you
sense.
are.
What's like
You are.
Okay, I got you. So there's the business and then there's me. So I agree with you. The business has always had a name, it's always been at the top of their league and whatever, but there is big and there is big. Let me put that. So up until a certain time, the turnover never hit a certain level, right, for the business. Post 2019, maybe, there was a deciding, okay, and then maybe I should say this as well. I say this sounding like, oh, it's just one of those things that happened. There were things I also had to do for God. So maybe I should also add that.
Please add it so that we don't think that it's just
journey, yes, it just doesn't fall on you, really. There were things I also had to do. There were sacrifices I had to make. And there were, so when we talk about, and one of the things is giving and so on. And when I say these things, especially when we're maybe doing wrap up and stuff, and I'm saying that some of us have testimonies that I can't even begin to tell you, but I will tell you because of course we're having this conversation. The day my perspective flipped and things started to really change in terms of the bottom line for the business was the day I decided to obey a command. And then it was a command. And the command was to support, to contribute significantly to this event that we do, 21 Days of Worship. No, it was a business conference. It was a business conference.
Was it one of the prophetic business conferences?
Prophetic business conferences or something. It was around November, December of this particular year. I think it was 2018 or something. And at that point, you know, I said I came into the business was struggling, was trying to set it up. So, Sister Mimi, there was, even for me as an individual, if they shake me, maybe you'll be lucky I'll get 100K to, you know, but we're fronting but I didn't have anything. And what was the definition of give? And give well. I'm like, I'm not going to give. Anyway, cut long story short, my mom had died a few years before, and she had given us, you know, we shared her jewelry. And if you know the years of, they have correct jewelry. And I just said to myself, you know, I'm gonna dispose of this jewelry. I'm gonna believe and just let it go. And I didn't know how to go about it. Long story short, I contributed the entire, as I was getting the fund for that jewelry, I moved it. And I'm like, God, I'm going to give everything I had to this thing. I'll give an example. Maybe our turnover 2018, you know, this I said was 2018 December, was maybe 700 million. I'm just giving an example. Between January and March of COVID, it was 2019, because I remember it was a COVID year of that 2020, before the country had to shut down in March. Sister Mimi, we had done almost 2 billion in sales.
Wow.
The entire year of the previous year was maybe 700. I'm just using example low. January.
Or you're just using it to say the difference between where you
January
were and
March. I had exceeded by like almost times 3. We did not know the country was shut down. Eventually, the country shut down. Country reopened again, like maybe August or September or something.
And you didn't have to sack anybody.
September to December again. That for me was like what did I give that caused this? You won't tell me twice. So any opportunity to give anything, somebody needs a rent, a book, I hear, whatever I have, I'll give. Somebody needs this, we want to do this, we need this, I hear, I give. Even if I have to empty my account and me, I have never regretted it. I have never regretted. So that whole concept of giving and sowing and giving to God, forget it. It has worked in multiples for me. So that was one thing that I always did. The rest of my team don't even know I do all of this. If my people hear me that I've gone to sell mommy's jewelry, they'll probably call me and say, okay, are you mad? But me, I know what I have done.
And you are seeing the results.
And I'm seeing it. And that is for business. For me, peace. There is nothing, you have all the money in the world, you don't have peace. It's nonsense. So peace, I don't worry, I don't stress, everything is looking like this, like this, like this. And in fact, at some point they've said, hey, we'll leave madam. If madam have said there's no trouble, let's go and be continuing our work. So they trust that. They know that there's no issue. Everything will be okay. Do you understand? So peace. And then it cuts across. My home is, I don't have issues with my husband. I don't have issues with my children. They're doing well in school. My home, so what else am I looking for? So that is the difference. So
you don't have sleepless nights, except when you are working.
I don't sleep. Even my kids, like, mommy, you don't sleep. You don't sleep, but I'm fine. I'm not struggling. I'm not sick. I can't remember the last time I went to hospital. There was one time I had one leg, something. I'm like,
I remember that one. And God took it away.
Tomorrow, Esma. Tomorrow was 124 hours that I went to. I'm like, this nonsense leg, what's going on? It's gone. I don't feel it. So really.
So FOL has a question. For people, FOL, before you go, let's clock this. Sister Buki said something very key. Because, it's easy to come and say, I do this, I'm diligent, yes, God has helped, I have wisdom. But she also talked about giving and having to empty out her account. And, I want us to, because that is somewhere where I find that a lot of us will obey. But when it comes to that giving, we tend to try to rationalize it. And you heard what she said. I took my inheritance. And this is a month of inheritance. I took my inheritance, something I got from my mom, heirloom, and I gave it to God. I gave it, lock, stock, and barrel. She didn't remove 10% for herself. She gave everything. As she got the money, she sold it. And look at where the business is now. Now, I'm sure if you went to ask her, if you went to tell your brother this was about what you were about to do, what do you think he would have said?
Lie. Are you mad? Are you crazy? What did you understand?
I think that's you.
Did you understand? You're okay. So at some point, but I'm sure if he hears now, he'll just laugh. You'll just laugh.
Yeah, it will make sense. After you make sense. Therefore, you have a question before we wind up. You have a question for Sister Buki.
So my question for Buki was that experience, is it just, you told us about what happened after COVID, before COVID and everything. So that experience, is it just one time?
That is my life. And she may tell you that I've not produced anything for 9 months. We're okay. I'm ending in Esa. It's my life now. It's my life now.
Okay, so when you said it's your line now, is it everything that you just give because you want to give, or even as you said anybody that comes you try to help? Did God speak to you as well? Do you hear God what to do, what not to do, or are you?
No, I don't think about it. If it comes, in fact, at some point, there's some things I do on a regular that is just, I don't have, I am doing, I'm looking and I'm sorting, right? So it's just what I've come to, this is what I need to do. This is what I want to do.
Okay, let me say this. I remember one time that, we're trying to do something and God instructed you that whatever all of them put together, that you should multiply it. And you came to me. And even though she was counting that people don't pass this number, don't pass this number. And up to the last day, on the last day, somebody now do 10 times what they are booking nearly die.
So we have some of those, contributions towards the event. So I just heard it in my spirit, whatever total, because I was the akaku, I was the treasurer. So whatever how much we guess, I will double it. And that would be my own contribution. And so 50K, 100K, 200K.
2 million, it was up to 2 million, 5 million, it was okay. Somebody now multiply it. So I'm saying that to say, yes, the reason why I'm asking is that all those experience, how was it? And I know you saw the result later, but how was it then?
In that
when
moment,
you were going through, was it easy?
In that moment, it was a bit, hey, I'm going to go and use my mouth to go and say something, but I've said it. So whatever it took, I can't go back on my word. Okay. I can lament to FOL, but it is what I've said. So, and you see, some of the things
I will say. When you lament to me, I don't try to use grace for you.
Do you send me? You don't send me now. People think that you're my friend. I'm not my friend now. You don't send me. Everybody doesn't send me.
I'm Sister Mimi's friend. Don't worry.
Everybody doesn't send me like I do. And when I have those kind of revelations, I would tell FOL so that I am committed to it. I can't lie. So once somebody knows that, especially FOL knows that I have said it, I can't come and be changing my mind after the fact. So that keeps me accountable, because I could have held on to it. Nobody would never have known. Do you understand? Maybe it is what it is that it is. But I will say it that this is what I heard though. Oh yeah, let's go now. And then, but it would shake me, but I always found a way around it. And then I always saw the manifestation of God saying, you know what, I've got you. I've got you, so.
So Sister Buki, thank you so much, this has been inspirational. And before I ask my last question, I want to remind us that today is our giving day. It's Friday. And, we look at, and for you, where I respect you and your brother and what you've done with Nikon, is that there are a lot of laudable Nigerians that have started businesses. And after they died, those businesses died with them. And or they started businesses because they had favor with the government in power at that time. And after that government left, the businesses fizzled out. Yet you took over a business when it was struggling.
Yes.
And yes, when it was struggling, and you've been able to turn it into a multinational business. You've expanded your offerings, you've expanded your products, you've maintained your quality, and you don't really go out of your way to advertise. You have selected your markets, and yet every day you are receiving proposals. Every day. And evidence is that your factory has been shut down since December, and you are still earning money. So if not God, then who? But now, so please, our giving slides are up. Please, is our Friday. And I want us to be deliberate about this. If you also want to have a business that people will talk about, that will succeed you, So, Sister Buki, let's go forward 20 years, 30 years, 10 years. You have your successor at hand, and you are handing over to this successor. What are those things you are going to tell your successor to help them succeed in this? Yes, you've groomed them, you've trained them, you've mentored them, but now you are leaving. They've worked with you, they've seen how you do things. Like Moses said to Joshua, when he was handing over, or God said to Joshua when Moses had gone, what are those words that you will tell your successor that this is what you should do?
Okay, so maybe one of the first things I would say is opportunities may come in and open the door to you, right? You get that opportunity, but it is your character that will keep you in the room. So character is key. You need to respect the people that built the system ahead of you and arrive ready to learn, not ready to lead, right? Because that is the mentality. I've become the MD now. I am everybody's organ. No, arrive ready to lead, understand the business, earn credibility through competence, not just because you are MD. Nah, that is key. That's in short, what I would say to anybody that I'm going to be handing over. It could still be family, it could not be family, but whoever it is, that opportunity has come to you, but it is your character that will keep you there, and it's about your integrity, your competence, your credibility, all of that.
How about your own work with God that you know has made you, because I know that from our conversation, you've said that your staff is like, once you say it is okay, it's like the oracle, the oracle has spoken. It is okay. So how about that aspect of your faith? Are you going to now also say, like how God said to Joshua, this book of the law will not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate on it day and night, and you will have success and you have prosperity. So what about your faith? Is it one of those things you're going to say, this thing, my success has been?
I think for me, I'm just going to remain ready to go with the flow, right? Already I'm seeing that at some point very soon, my journey is going to gravitate elsewhere. And I'm already seeing the signs, right? So I'm just making myself, and I see God preparing me for that. Do you understand? So every journey, like I said, it's as if God, so it's like I'm looking back to see, okay, that's why I did that first. That's why I did that first. So this as well, I have seen that I'm doing it for the next level. So I'm just keeping myself available for God to use, and praying that God sees me continually as a faithful servant. And that's it. That's what my life revolves around right now. So if God says, oh yeah, it's time to go to this other place, it's okay. I know that when I get there, I will shine. There's no doubt about that. I might not know anything about it, but I know I will shine because God has got my back. And that's what is holding me on. So that my faith is the be all and end all of who I am right now. And one of the prayers I pray for forever for myself is that I don't lose sight of that. I don't get carried away with that. So I'm always pinching myself to, okay, don't get carried away. Don't go and, so that keeps me, and the fact that I've got accountability partners, it helps me to keep me grounded. It's not swelling my head. I'm not going, I'm grounded. So I'm just going to keep at that.
Thank you. Grounded in Christ. I love that.
Yeah.
So I have some few questions in the Q&A before we shut this down. Please, the person that is asking about the children's camp, it is on-site and online, but you can always contact the office.
Okay.
Then somebody says, are there any guardrails around giving aside from general giving? Are we allowed to sow or gift a leader here? Is it to directly reach out to the leader, or if I don't have access, to just tag the giving to their name? Please advise. You can send an email to the office and they will advise you on what to do. We are always very accessible. We are very online. So you can send an email and we will, but there are no guardrails to giving. And I love how this has panned out, and it's made me very, very prayerful and also very conscious. There's something we say in Cornerstone, that everything works out for my good. And I look at your life from pharmacy to your masters. I mean, people do masters in something that they want to build a profession in. You know, you have a master's in pharmacy. You now went on to do hospitality. You got a diploma in hospitality.
I'm doing a doctorate, by the way. I'm
You've
finishing
been
this year. A doctorate.
yes. You know, I call Sister Buki engineer. You know, engineer. It's not engineer, engineer.
I am adding my doc, and everyone is always laughing with me. I've said that if after all the anything I'm doing, I now go and carry myself, go and be doing doctor. I've been doing it for 4 years now. I'm finishing this year by God's grace. The person that will call me and not put doctor before they call me, let me say it down. I won't answer. So just telling everybody.
It's not honorary. It's
not
you
honorary.
did the work. You did the work. So, you know, thank you so much, Tabuki. And, you know, I want us to go away with the belief that everything in your life will work out, you know, because look at her. You know, we say, we get questions on this platform. Am I in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right job? Am I this? Am I that? Everything, as a child of God, everything works out for your good. And if you are taking nothing away from this conversation, clock that, you know.
Yes, so
everything will work out.
I'm never in a fix. So there is always somebody that will come and say, Madam, what do you need? I will help you. And I will not touch one penny. And they will go through the process and help and say, Madam, don't worry. The very first job I got this year, I was doing holiday, Christmas, New Year, and they called me and said, Madam, this is what we want, but don't worry, we will get the approval.
We will do the work.
We did the groundwork.
And use your name.
I just showed up. And I just showed up to come and collect money. That is my life. Honestly, that is the story of my life.
That is grace. That,
so
and you know,
will not say there's no God and God is like this. No, it's difficult.
Another thing she said was between when she became a Christian and before, she just left it to God. So let people, when you rest, God works. When you work, God rests. May God not rest on our behalf. So God bless you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Sister Buki, God bless you.
Thank you for having me.
See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
God bless you.
Don't forget to give. So